Hello, and good evening on a fine, crisp spring evening here at the Town Hall in New York City. It's Earth Day tomorrow, if we make it that far. I'll admit I haven't been focusing on the geological time scale lately, just trying to get through the week. Luckily, yesterday was April 20th. That's 420. The perfect day for New York's very own Senator Chuck Schumer to introduce federal legalization legislation. Legalize it. Don't criticize it. Senator Schumer said yesterday, and I quote, "The time has come to decriminalize marijuana." He goes on to say, "I believe there's no better time than the present to get this done. It's simply the right thing to do," end quote. In January, the Pew Research Center found that 61% of Americans are supportive of legalization, and I believe the same study found that 99.4% of Americans are supportive of Bob Dylan. And you know what Bob says. They stone you when you're trying to be good. They'll stone you just like they said they would. They'll stone you when you're trying to go home. But they'll stone you when you're there all alone. But I would not feel so alone. Everybody must get stoned. That's what Bob says. That's what Bob says. I don't actually have a horse in the race on this one. More of a caffeine and cocktail guy myself. I read another bit of news this week that affects me personally, however. There's a little shop I love down in the East Village that's been around for almost 30 years called Rue Saint-Denis, and it's closing this week. Does anyone know Rue Saint-Denis? Anyone here ever been? Oh, very nice. Best vintage store on earth, in my highly uninformed opinion. And it's been there since 1990. 1990! Which makes it 700 years old in New York City boutique years? I mean, in 1990, people still paid for music, which I guess is no surprise when the chart toppers that year sounded like, "Can't touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this." And also,
Yo, VIP, let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby.
all right, stop.
Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly.
Okay, wait, actually, I meant to actually stop. Come on, Gaby Moreno, everyone. Who knew? Did you know? I didn't know, not until earlier today. My point is that Rue Saint-Denis has been through a lot. They've been through a lot. They mostly sell clothing from the 60s and 70s, and for 28 years, every single item in the store has been hand-chosen by the proprietor, Jean-Paul, and sold with irresistible aplomb by Ricardo. I don't know their last names, but I love them. My friends and I learned how to dress and how to care about how to dress in the mirror at Saint-Denis under their expert supervision. Since I heard they were closing, I've been feeling nostalgic for all the times we showed up for cocktails, wearing our latest acquisitions, and receiving the standard greeting, "Nice suit, man." We'd invariably reply, "Thanks, it's from Rue Saint-Denis." Jean-Paul and Ricardo deal in nostalgia, essentially, and it's not lost on me that I'm getting nostalgic for a nostalgia shop. Very meta. I'm nostalgic for a lot of things these days, though. Otter Pops, for instance, original Nintendo, democratic norms. I often wonder what we're doing now that will last as long as Rue Saint-Denis has. What we'll be remembering fondly in 30 years' time. Probably won't be remembering the fresh hell of each week's news cycle. But I'll remember the first time someone played me Sufjan Stevens' Come On Feel the Illinois around Christmas in 2005. And I'll remember Saturday nights as a teenager laughing at Weekend Update with Colin Quinn, having to pick my jaw up off the floor after hearing Tracy K. Smith recite Eternity, and listening to Jonathan Biss playing Beethoven in my headphones on a treadmill outside Anchorage, Alaska. Surprisingly good jogging music, by the way. And I'll remember Jean-Paul and Ricardo, who sold me every stitch of clothing that I'm wearing right now.